Now let's talk about the E. E stands for excellence and exactness. These are the perfecters among us. The E brain is constantly looking for how to improve things. The main process, the main function of the E brain is trying to figure out the best way. E's look at anything, that any situation, any person, anything, and their brains are automatically trying to figure out how to make whatever that is better. When the E brain is working, it's trying to improve things. This leads E's to live in the past because they look at what has happened in order to make it better. And we'll talk a little bit more about this as we go through. It's super important as an E, if you're an E, to be able to understand the difference between something being better and something not being good enough. The E brain is on a quest for the perfect process. They want it to be the best that it can be and better than it was. What the E wants to do is to find the very best process, the very best way. They want to learn how to replicate that and put a process in and be able to put that on repeat. The E brain loves to research and sift through possibilities and things. It doesn't really matter what it is. The E brain loves figuring out the very best way. I want to make a particular point here about what the best means, because what the best is dependent on what the desired outcome is. We'll use backpacking as an example. If I'm going backpacking and my objective is comfort, then what is the best? Well, the best is going to be a nice sleeping pad, really yummy food, being prepared for whatever discomforts might come up. However, if my objective is speed, then what the best way is going to be very different than if comfort is the objective. If my objective is speed, then super minimal gear, light, easy food, a light sleeping bag for the floor. It's going to be very different what the best is. As an E, it's super important that you keep in mind that what your brain is settling on as like the best way is going to be filtered by whatever it is that your brain is trying to solve. If you don't keep that in mind, sometimes you can project this, this is the way, the best way to do it. You can miss the fact that, well, yeah, it is, and your brain is really good at doing that, and that might be the best way for that given objective. But if I'm trying to accomplish a different objective, then that isn't going to necessarily be the best way. The second variable associated with this perfecting is that E's are super detail oriented. E's have this laser focus. The E brain will get really minute on the details of how to do something, what color, what texture, what brand, what temperature. The E brain gets very granular on the details. And in some ways, the more detailed, the better. One of the greatest things that E's bring to humanity is tenacity. E's have this tremendous ability to grind and persevere in what they are trying to accomplish and in what they think and feel is the best way. Whatever they're focused on, they have this tremendous ability to tenaciously stay focused on that. In fact, a lot of times E's will get really frustrated if they get pulled away from something that they're trying to do and to accomplish. A lot of times E's will struggle with being on time. They'll frequently figure out like the ideal way of how they want their day or their afternoon to go. If they run into a hiccup on that, it's really hard for the E to come off of this ideal plan that they've identified. And so they'll end up like staying in something and being late for the next thing or the next things. Unless an E believes that being on time is the best way to be and to live their lives, then E's will be extremely punctual and they'll make sure that they're on time. The key here is whatever the E brain gets focused on, whatever the E-ness gets focused on, that is going to be what they're trying to figure out how to do best. And if that's being on time, then that's great. If that's completing the things that they have planned, then that's what it'll be. If that's how to clean the toilet, whatever the E puts its mental focus on, it will be trying to figure out the very best way to do that thing.